Hey, what's up, guys? I did a custom Cobra Moray Hydrafoil. So I'm gonna kind of show you everything that I did. I pretty much just am a classified collector, but I don't know. I'm getting bored because there's nothing new, showing up at the door as far as classified goes and in boxes and things. It's going to be a while before we start getting some of this stuff. And what can I say? I just need more GI Joe. So I tracked down a hydrofoil on eBay. I bought one that was almost complete. At first, I was going to order one that was kind of like a junk one that was missing some parts, maybe a little beat up, and just kind of restore it and have fun, kind of rebuilding it and refurbishing it and everything. But then I thought I don't want to do that, so I wanted to get one as complete as possible. And because, yeah, I am going to restore it, but I'm also going to kind of customize it. I'm going to give it like a little bit of a different paint job. And I'm not trying to um, just duplicate the original from 1985, how it looked brand new. I ordered one that was almost complete. The only thing missing was a lens that goes in the spotlight that's on the top of the boat, and I'll show you that later. But I got, I got it. I got it pretty much complete. The seller shipped it and packed it really, really great. Everything was bubble wrapped individually and stuff. All right. So, anyways, the first thing that I did, it was to just kind of wash the boat. Kitchen sink, hot water, Dawn soap, Scrub Daddy, and threw it in the water, rinse it off, wash it off real good. I peeled off all the stickers while I was washing it, and I used a toothbrush to kind of get in all the little corners and just clean it as best as I could. I'm sure the toothbrush probably tasted really soapy the first time I brushed with it again, but luckily I was very drunk, and I don't even remember. I didn't even notice it, so that's great. So there's a lot of washing in the sink, and in the warm water, I'm trying to kind of like take things apart because I still had the top of the boat and the hull were connected. There's tabs all around, and then the engine was in it, and the engine's got some exhaust pipes that kind of like are tucked into it and things. But all the little all the guns and little like the flap bent kind of pieces and the little machine guns on the back, those things were already all removed. So I just went through and I just washed everything real good in soap and water. Then it was time for like Goo Gone. I got a spray bottle of Goo Gone. It's, if you don't know what that is, you put it on. It's kind of like an oily cleaning substance that you spray on, and it helps remove the residue left over from the stickers. So you peel up a sticker and there's just crap left over. You put the Goo Gone on it and let it sit for a while, and then you can kind of scrub it off. So it was wash, dry, Goo Gone, washed it again because you get this oily substance all over it, and then I see a little, something that I missed. I got to do the Goo Gone again, and then I wash it again. I went back and forth, wash, Goo Gone about 3 times total for the whole thing before it was clean as a whistle. Taking it, getting those last few pieces apart were difficult. The engine block was the last thing that came out. Once I removed the top of the boat, you could flip it over and see the tabs where the engine thing was, and I thought you could just kind of press on the tabs and it pop out. But the way it's kind of fit in there, it was difficult. I just took a flathead screwdriver and I just kind of lightly kept putting pressure on it at different points, and I eventually got something to pop. There's 2 tabs that are like real close together at the front of the boat, and those things were not easy to get out either. This plastic was much more rigid. It also felt like it wouldn't take much pressure to snap something or break something. So I was real careful with it, and I didn't break anything, which I'm surprised at because I'm the type of person that I start kind of getting irritated if something's not working, and I'll just put pressure on and break it and just deal with it later. But I didn't have to do that. I was able to, gently take the whole thing apart, and that went great. The next step was I went through and I sanded the whole underside of the boat, the hull. I got like a real fine sandpaper. I don't know what grit it was, but it was fine. And I just kind of lightly sanded the whole thing. You can see that there's, still kind of like a shadow left behind from where the decal was. There's some scratches and scuffs on it from whatever it's been through in the past 40 years. This thing's 40 years old this year. But yeah, I sanded it down real good just because I wanted the hull to be like real smooth and kind of glossy looking. Little imperfections would kind of stand out. So I really wanted to like sand it down real good. So that's what I did. I sanded it down real nice. And then it was time for priming. I used the same primer and paint for everything. It was Rust-Oleum. It's got like a 2X on the label, and it says bonds to plastic right on the label. Then I primed it with a white primer. Somebody on one of these videos said the primer will kind of be noticeable and affect the color that you put on top of it. I did white to keep all the colors like nice and pure and clean looking and bright and poppy. All right, then it was painting. Someone in one of these videos said that it's good to like warm the spray paint before you use it. Run it under some hot water and just kind of warm it up, and it'll loosen up a little bit more, and you get more of a real smooth finish from it. And I've never heard that before, but I gave it a shot. I mean, sometimes life is just about having faith and trying new things. I mean, once in a while, cut your own hair and don't use a mirror. Fire a gun into the floor. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just about trying new things here. So I did the warm spray paint. It worked well. The top of the Hydrafoil is kind of like a maroon color. So I wanted to kind of keep that. I wanted to make maybe a little more bright. So I kind of went with more of a candy apple red, kind of just like a real strong red color. And then for the underside, the hull, I wanted to do kind of like a sea green, like a real like bluish green, mostly blue with a little tint of green to it, kind of like seawater. So yeah, that's what I did. To get started, I took apart the rest of the boat, the top of it. Took apart this like kind of flip up ammo box. Pulled up the missiles. Just kind of stripped the whole thing down completely, and then painted it. When I painted, it was a real sunny day. It was real nice out, and then but I wasn't done. You could tell like the top of the boat in particular has a lot of just little nooks and crannies, and I needed to kind of go back and hit some of these spots. After I put maybe like 2 coats of paint, the red in particular, just it wasn't dry, like it was tacky. And like I said, the day I painted, it was real nice, but the next day, it rained all day, and I couldn't do anything. But I thought that ended up being fine because it just gave the paint like an extra day to just completely dry out. Which it did. Then I brought in a third color. I kind of found a similar shade to what I was doing the hull of the boat with, but it was more just a darker color. So I had a light poppy bluish green for the hull, and the missiles that go in the missile box, I did that same color. And then I found kind of like a darker lagoon color for the big bombs that kind of sit on the side of the Hydrafoil. They just kind of hang underneath those wing spots. And then I also used it for the little missiles that are on the outsides of the cockpit. And also at this time, I realized that the red I was using was probably too bright. I had a bright blue underneath and then kind of a bright red, and it seemed like the 2 colors were kind of fighting there. So I wanted to darken it. I would say I wanted to kind of like darken it, take a little bit of the zest out of it. So then, I ended up going and get another can of spray paint somewhere that was maybe 2 shades darker, and I repainted it a darker red. Here's a shot that's kind of a comparison. The left is the unpainted shade of red that the original toy was, and then to the right is kind of the newer color. I also went through and I painted the interior of the cockpit. black. I just kind of hit it like lightly. I didn't like soak it and make it this like big, thick, glossy thing. I just kind of wanted to give it a little bit of a tint just to kind of refresh it. Because a lot of the piece, and I did that with all the guns and things too, which were basically like a real dark gray color, which was fine, but they had scratches and things on them. And I just thought it would look nice to hit it all with all that stuff with a little bit of black. Before I put everything together, then I went around and I did a lot of the detail work. I took a silver paint marker and I went around and I kind of just put highlights on little things, little vents and buttons and pipes and wires and cables and things like that that are molded into the hydrofoil. And I went around and I just used silver marker and I used a little bit of black marker too. Just to give it some detail, just to give it like another level of detail that really wasn't there before. That stuff is all molded in, but now I'm kind of like adding like a paint app to it, so it's sprucing it up even more. Then it was time to start putting everything back together again. So yeah, I put those feet into the into the hull of the boat. That went well. The ammo box that pops up, that mechanism there took me, a few tries to figure out how to get that back together again properly. There's kind of a little balancing act. I got it. That was probably the most difficult thing as far as putting it all back together again, but everything else was pretty smooth. And then I had to wait a little bit of time for the stickers or decals to get in the mail. I ordered my decals from toyhax.com, Toyhax, and they got everything. I mean, if any GI Joe vehicle, if you want like the stickers that came with it, they reproduce them on vinyl sticker sheets. They're all die cut, ready to just peel off and stick right onto the toy. The only thing I'm still waiting on actually is a couple days later I ordered a white Cobra logo that I'm going to put right in the kind of right between the eyes of the cockpit there. And then one more time, just here it is, like in hand, just all finished and complete. I didn't mention it earlier, but the reason I wanted to do kind of a lighter blue color was because this snake sticker really is like a heavy standout feature of just the overall look of this. So I didn't want to have a dark gray boat with a black sticker on it that's visible. I mean, the original's visible, but this is way more visible now. So I really wanted it to, to kind of stand out strong. So yeah, there we go. I mean, that's kind of it with everything. You can see inside the cockpit. You can see, I don't know what you can see, but yeah, looks good. I mean, this was definitely a fun project. I kind of figured I would just maybe do one, but I don't know. I think I might want to do something else. I think for the next one, I'll do a Joe vehicle. This is an iconic, vehicle for sure. Like I don't want to just change it so much that it's something different. So, I wanted to keep the red. Other than that, I think I still kind of was respectful in it, even though I did, kind of change the colors here. All right, guys, this is the custom Cobra Moray Hydrafoil. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I recommend it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe.